The NBA witnessed one of Steph Curry's best nights in his already legendary career with the Warriors. Even by the high standards of Curry, Monday night was something special. The two-time NBA MVP and reigning Finals MVP scored 47 points, grabbed 8 rebounds, gave out 8 assists, and turned the ball over 0 times in San Francisco's come-from-behind win against the Sacramento Kings. The Warriors ended their 5-game losing streak with a 116-113 triumph, largely thanks to his 47-8-8 game in which he did not commit a single turnover. Despite this historic performance, let's take a look at what nobody is talking about in the Warriors' 2023 season. Steph was just terrific, stated Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr. He is, without a doubt, one of the greatest athletes of all time. Even though he has many nights when he performs well, this one was very memorable. Suddenly, he was hoisting us up on his back. Curry had a true shooting percentage of .868. He made 17 of his 24 shots, including 7 of his 12 three-point attempts. In the final period, Curry shot 6 for 8 from the field and 2 for 3 from behind the arc for 17 points. Those fortunate enough to see it thought it was one of Curry's best games. The game felt like the fourth in the NBA Finals of 2022. Draymond Green stated of the team's MVP, "He wasn't going to let us lose. Take that with a grain of salt. I'm not saying this game was as big a deal, but you know when to take a back seat." It was yet another example of him seizing control. Despite Curry's MVP caliber performance, the Warriors have battled to a 4-7 record this season. The future Hall of Famer is averaging 32.6 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 6.9 assists per game on 51.2 and 93.1% shooting. In spite of the club's efforts to replace older players with younger ones, the team's defensive and attacking struggles mean that he may still be needed to provide great performances. Evidently, this is not news to Curry. According to Curry, we had to accept that the young players will all have an opportunity to deliver, and there will be some challenges, both highs and lows. That pretty much sums up the whole arc of this team. I have lived long enough to realize that each year has its own set of difficulties, and we are prepared to face them head on. It's difficult for these young guys to try to carve out a niche for themselves in this league and at a certain level. The Warriors are open to anything in terms of incoming trades. They are leaving everything open when it comes to winning another championship. The Golden State Warriors have been one of the league's weakest teams thus far this season. The team's 4-7 record is disappointing, given the high hopes that everyone had for them. It's hard to tell whether the slow start is because of a lack of chemistry or if the whole team needs a complete makeover. In a recent interview with Athletics and Warriors general manager Myers, his response to a question about possible trades sparked some intriguing rumors. Myers elaborated, saying, "I know it's been written already, but we're always open to anything. Nothing is ever a sure bet, especially in the NBA. Not that we intend to start using it right now. We have yet to decide on anything, but I'd say we're competitors, and we'll evaluate our standing and performance after a few games to figure out what to do next." The Warriors have gotten off to a rough start, 4-7, but they aren't losing hope and won't panic if things turn around. As Bob Myers has observed, it is indeed too early to comment. The Warriors should not have to worry about making major decisions until they are more than 10 games under 500 or until around the trade deadline. As a result of their championship win against Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and the Boston Celtics, the Warriors' dual timeline approach to assembling their lineup was praised. The ultimate goal of any NBA team is to hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy as league champions at the end of the season. Indeed, players like Gary Payton II, Otto Porter Jr., and Nemanja Bjelica contributed to the team's success in the playoffs. Still, head coach Steve Kerr credits the foundational 6 for the team's success. The younger teammates were benched for much of the contest. Conventional wisdom, as the time predicted Golden State superstars James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody wouldn't get their break until the 2022-23 season. Ty Jerome and Anthony Lamb, two of the team's two-way players, earned 28 minutes of action against the Sacramento Kings on Monday, while Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody each played 9 minutes. Bob Myers, the Warriors' president, said that rumors that the team is passing on its best prospects are completely false. Myers said that Jerome and Lamb had a few more minutes than the lottery three, and the team's principal decision-maker advised them to slow down. Myers said, "What you said is exactly on time. The opening lineups and rotations reflect the actual outcomes I've seen through the years of watching our teams play. Once Dante DiVincenzo and Andre Iguodala are back, how will the rotations change? There are a lot of young individuals involved with our group. Steve has a hard time thinking of positions that are right for them." Myers disagreed that Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody had been taken out of the game, even though it was scary to see the future of the Warriors sitting on the bench. "I'm not concerned, talking about last night, about the two-way players chosen before the lottery picks. Another long season has arrived. The trick is to be patient. I can't wait to find out what happens toward the end of the season, but no matter what does occur, it won't resemble last night's scene. It occurred the year before as well. The 21-22 seasons of Kuminga and Moody, with Wisdom missing the season due to injury, is illustrative of the ebb and flow of which Myers speaks, as they happened despite the players' divergent expectations. Due to the selection of not one but two players with enormous promise, the Warriors started the season with lofty goals. However, neither player saw consistent action during the season's first few weeks. After both Andre Iguodala and Draymond Green were out for an extended period due to injury, KLAY Thompson's conditioning time dragged on, and both ballers got their chance at huge minutes and a chance to prove what they could accomplish on the floor. Kuminga in particular showed how good he was, which raised his status and gave him more playing time. The former number 7 pick played 244 minutes in January 22, an increase over the 225 minutes he logged in October, November, and December of 21. The success of Stephen Curry's Golden State Warriors this season rests on his shoulders. The Warriors' recent slide to a 4-7 record comes as somewhat of a shock. Banners were waved after the team lost 5 consecutive games away from home, with the defeats coming at Charlotte, Detroit, Miami, Orlando, and New Orleans. Winning by a score of 116-113 on Monday night against the Sacramento Kings was more than simply the result. Further, it shed light on a number of problems that had previously been hidden. Steph Curry led his team to victory and put on an MVP-caliber performance by scoring 47 points on 17 of 24 shooting. Draymond Green made double digits. Wiggins scored 25 and went 4-8 from 3. Kevin Looney grabbed 16 boards and dished out 4 assists. KLAY Thompson dropped 16 points on the board without saying a word the whole game. Trying to figure out the Warriors' chemistry has always been difficult. The team's ball-whipping motion offense and lightning-fast off-ball transitions are the result of their innate synergy rather than the abilities of any one member. They can't win a 7-game series, even if Steph Curry goes crazy and single-handedly decimates historically great defenses. The commitment shown by him and the other starters is remarkable, particularly considering their young ages. Though he acts as a father figure to some of the Warriors, he still requires more sleep than his subordinates. In 10 games, Curry is averaging 32.6 points per game on 50% field goal shooting and 43% three-point shooting. As a team player, he has averaged 7 points, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds per game. In spite of his MVP award, he can't play at this level indefinitely. Behind Curry, KLAY and Draymond's unprecedented season has been the Warriors' bench. The death lineup of Warriors reserves has been the driving force behind the team's 4 championships and 2 runner-up finishes. When superstar point guard Steph Curry has one of his infamous slumps, the Warriors can still win because of their deep bench. Never before in Warriors history has the second unit committed as many turnovers as it did in the 2019 NBA Finals loss to Toronto. Andre Iguodala was sent to the Grizzlies, making room for Kevin Durant and D'Angelo Russell in the trade that resulted in Andrew Wiggins. Fewer players will take Sean Livingston's position. The Warriors had a dramatic roster overhaul during the summer, acquiring and releasing talents like Damian Jones, Quinn Cook, Andrew Bogut, and Jonas Jerebko. Draymond kept the club afloat when Curry went down with a wrist injury, even though KLAY had just returned from season-ending Achilles tendon and anterior cruciate ligament injuries. Last season, their veteran-laden bench had the second-best plus-minus in the NBA, but in 2023, they will have the worst plus-minus and the second-worst shooting bench. The Warriors' starting five and bench have the largest performance disparity in the NBA, and it's causing a lot of tension. The hipster favorite Denver Nuggets are the only top 10 team to have a mediocre bench, ranked 26th in the league, and a negative 41 plus-minus. Kerr has indicated that players will be changed, but he has few options. It's quite rare for an NBA rookie to play significant minutes for a playoff team while still receiving rookie-level compensation. And here we are talking about Jordan Poole, whose contract does not begin until 2023. James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and Ty Jerome all saw over 30 minutes of action each game off the bench for the Warriors. Dante DiVincenzo and JaMychal Green are seated further down the bench. Their young reserves would use those 82 games to mature quickly in an ideal world. Despite having one of the best starting fives in the NBA since the Auerbach Celtics, their success will be limited by the worst bench in the NBA. Though the Warriors' spacing has worsened as a result of Jonathan Kuminga's failure to create space for his teammates, Kerr has continued to play Kuminga due to his effort in transition. Or if James Wiseman continues to underwhelm for the Warriors, the team may have little choice except to bench him or maybe cut him off the roster. The hamstring injury that has sidelined DiVincenzo since October 23rd has allowed him to make a strong comeback. The addition of his bench support would be much appreciated. As the season continues and JaMychal Green learns to settle into his role as a small ball five, he should see an increase in his playing time. Despite this, he isn't helping out nearly as much on the defensive end. So will the Warriors bench mature for a promising 2023? Tell us in the comments, drop us a like, and subscribe with that bell for more videos just like this.